This coming weekend, there's going to be candy galore all over the places. There'll be some soda pop being popped. And, the kids love Halloween. But what about the sugar? Not only during the Halloween season, but overall, so much availability of sugar in the diet, so much availability when you talk about caffeine in these young kids' diet and the problems that we're seeing from it in 2021. Kind enough to join me this morning is Danielle Domingo. Danielle is a licensed and registered dietitian at Akron Children's Hospital. And Danielle, certainly a growing problem when you talk about diabetes rise in cases in our youth, and a lot of it comes back to the sugar intake.
A lot of it does. Good morning. I work specifically in the Center for Diabetes and Endocrinology, and we are seeing a growing number of kids being diagnosed with prediabetes and type 2 diabetes, a lot having to do with that sugar. In particular, the added sugars is what we are worried about.
So get into what the added sugars is all about and educate us on that side, because we'll see it on the side of the label on a cookie or whatever it might be, and it'll say so-so sugars and then blank added sugars.
Yes, and now companies are required to put added sugars on the food label, so it does make it easier for consumers to be able to point out how much added sugar is in a product. The typical American diet, typical child consumes 20 grams of 20 teaspoons of sugar a day. 20 teaspoons of sugar a day. And so the recommended amount is really less than 25 grams or 6 teaspoons a day.
So there's a big
difference over that.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Now, and again, I'm not trying to throw the cloud over the Halloween season. The kids love their candy bars and that type of thing. That's okay. But when we continue to pile this up, it certainly does play havoc with our kids' health. And Danielle, go down the road about the sugar intake, what you're seeing day to day, and certainly our parents need to consider this so much when they're having that in the diet and maybe read the labels a little bit closer.
Yes, I see that beverages are definitely the leading category source of added sugars. So kids are having a sugary beverage in the form of juice, sweet tea, regular pop, multiple servings a day, and that really adds up. That is a big sugar load to the body. And so we have that big blood sugar spike that, can affect your child's mood, activity, energy level. It's kind of like their blood sugar is a roller coaster throughout the day when we have those large, intakes of added sugar. But definitely beverages are the leading category of where I'm seeing the most added sugar in a child's diet. So I think taking a look at beverages and eliminating sugary beverages is a big part.
Danielle, I think you're spot on too, because a lot of times you go down the juice aisle for the kids, and if we don't read the labels, we realize, hey, it's this juice, this brand, this is good. But if you take time to look at the label, 25% sugar, 28% sugar. Talk about those numbers when we look at the sugar inside those beverages and maybe where we should look at to keep them below.
So we want to definitely focus on those natural sugars. So we're not as concerned with the sugars that are found in high fiber foods like fresh fruit or just plain milk, unflavored milk. So those are sugars that we're looking for. We want to try to aim for, when we're looking at a label, less than 10 grams of sugar per serving and greater than 5 grams of fiber, especially when you're looking at cereals or granola bars.
Danielle Domingo is with us. Danielle is a licensed registered dietitian with Akron Children's Hospital. And the candy bars at the Halloween season, that's okay. It's a Halloween season. But Danielle, talk about the candy and the food alternatives now that are also really loaded with sugar and how we got to keep an eye on that as well.
I definitely think it's important for kids to be kids and definitely go trick-or-treating. And maybe, when you get home, sort through and have them save maybe a couple of their favorite candies. But a couple of strategies to cut back on that overindulgence of candy at Halloween is, number one, if we are passing out candy at home, I usually recommend giving out a candy that maybe is not our family favorite. So, I know that I don't care for Whoppers or maybe things with caramel in them. So I'm going to pass that kind of candy out so that I don't have a bunch left over at home. Or also looking at non-food related prizes instead of candy. So have the focus off of candy and on other aspects of Halloween, fun games to do with the kids, or, again, non-food prizes to hand out.
Danielle, I also wanted to talk to you about caffeine, because I loved what you had to say about sugar, how, the sugar will spike the kids. Let's say they're at school or they're participating in an athletic event or just the everyday course of life where they get the sugar up and then they come back down. Talk to us about caffeine, no matter how they're getting it, in a kid's diet. How concerned are you with caffeine in children?
So caffeine in itself is a natural stimulant found in, coffee, tea, chocolate, other foods and drinks. I do definitely see time and time again that caffeine and added sugar are going hand in hand. So a lot of times these kids and adolescents are grabbing Monster energy drinks or these energy drinks that are, double if not triple the amount of recommended caffeine in a day, along with that teaspoons and teaspoons of added sugar. So that there's kind of two problems there. And definitely, in kids and adults, too much caffeine can cause, those jitters, upset stomach, headache, difficulty concentrating, faster heart rates. So definitely not the most pleasant of side effects. I usually try to get to the root of the issue. So if a parent or adolescent is telling me that they're feeling very fatigued and they need caffeine in the morning, well, maybe we need to look deeper. Are we not having substantial nutrition, for breakfast in the morning? Are we not getting enough sleep? What are the other, underlying issues to where we feel that we need the caffeine?
Danielle, if you had to lay it out for parents, and I want to go to the breakfast because so many years we've heard most important meal, and I'm not going to argue with that, but a lot of times in the busyness of the world today, a mom and dad will just say, hey, get a bowl of cereal, get ready to go, I'm going to drop you off, or the bus is coming in 15 minutes, and we have the cereal in the cupboard, no matter what brand that is. So there is some sugar in the cereals. There's natural sugars in the milk. Is that okay, or what would your recommendation be for a breakfast for these kiddos?
At the very minimum, I preach to my patients to pair a protein and a produce. So it's a easy phrase, pair your peas, but it goes a long way. So protein can be in the form of peanut butter, eggs in the morning, and then when you pair it with a produce, so a higher fiber carb like an apple or, a banana, then that gives you longer, more sustained energy.
Danielle, thank you so much for the time. Good education, and I really think it's important. And I know a lot of us are saying, oh, I grew up on candy bars, I grew up on the sugars, I'm A-okay, but there's a lot more out there, and that's how I wanted to end it with you, Danielle, this morning. There's a lot more added sugars in the diets than there were maybe 20, 30 years ago. There's a lot more concealing with sugars, and unfortunately, it's the choices that the children prefer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Danielle, thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Danielle Domingo, again, licensed registered dietitian with Akron Children's Hospital.